Hey guys, it's Ashley and Davy here from Utah Trikes, and today we've got the Catrike Max
and the Catrike Villager.
Two trikes that look very similar, but they've got some key differences.
Yeah, makes all the difference when you sit down and ride. So let's go out, let's see those differences, and let's compare them.
Let's do it. Let's hit the road. All right, Davy. Well, I've actually been looking forward to doing this ride comparison for a while now.
Why is that?
Since the Villager was first announced, it has been one of our best sellers.
Yeah.
The Max came along. The Max is Catrike's newest trike and obviously has a lot of similarities to the Villager. The Villager has always been a really popular trike. You know, it sits up higher, a little bit wider. We talked about that in one of our last videos, but it hasn't always been a trike for everybody. Like all Catrike models, with the exception of the Max, it's got a max weight limit of 275.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of that weight limit is the actual size constraint of the trike itself, because we've got a lot of 350-pound guys that are riding on Catrike Villagers. So the biggest thing with the Max when it came out is that new higher weight limit.
Yeah, which I remember was a really big deal.
The Max came out and it's going, I've got a bigger weight limit, I've got a wider seat, and
it comes with these easy entry aids stock.
Comes with these easy entry aids, and it sits up even just a little bit higher.
It was really the Villager in a way that a lot of people wanted it to be expanded upon.
So the Villager, extremely popular, and it's got the standard Catrike gearing package.
We got 3 speeds up front, 10 in the rear.
Yeah, you've got that triple gossamer with that Catrike chain guard on there, where this has a much more simplified drivetrain here. So the Max has the 11-speed gearing.
11-speed in the rear and a single up front, which is a big difference from any of the other Catrikes.
Yeah, we first saw that on the Catrike Eola.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of an oddity. Catrike tried making an entry-level trike with the lowest price, and they had like single bent tube handlebars and had a twist grip with that 11-speed on the back.
Dang, it's really simple.
And it just didn't really catch on, and eventually it was discontinued. Now the 11-speed gearing is the stock gearing on the E-Cats, which makes a lot of sense because you're getting rid of that front triple anyway.
Yeah.
And so this 11-speed on the back gives you a little bit more gearing.
So why do you think that they went for the more simplified gearing? Is it just because there's a common trend of people upgrading to electric trikes, so just to kind of save? You
know, people want that wide range gearing, even if gonna have a motor on the front. And the 11-speed will do that. Also, 11-speed setups are, you know, newer than the 10-speed setup. They still have a bar and shifter, and it's easier for people just to deal with one shifter.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know, that you're not gonna have quite the gear range. And that's something I think we'll notice here.
Right up the hill coming up.
You know, going up the hill, I don't think we're going to notice it too much on the Max. Because the low gear on this is still pretty low.
Nice.
It's more when you're going down the hill. You don't have that higher gearing that, you know, the bigger chain ring there on the Gossamer is going to give you.
Yeah.
Both trikes are derailleur based. So you do need to be pedaling to shift. You know, as you know, occasionally we stop in a high gear and you get, you know, stuck. So you do want to downshift before you stop. One other difference on these is that the Max has a through axle rear end, whereas the Villager has Catrike's quick release dropouts.
Do you think that gives it that higher weight capacity, gives it a little more strength for that?
Frankly, no.
Oh, really?
No, I mean, you know, most of their trikes have been using that quick release setup forever. I've never heard or experienced any kind of strength issues. You know, one of the things with the through axle is it does limit you in terms of being able to add other types of gearing.
Yeah.
Although we do make an adapter for that.
Yeah. So what gearing are you on here going up this hill?
Let's see, I'm in my lowest right now. I just shifted. So I was in my second to lowest.
And how was that?
Yeah, it was fine.
I was in my second to lowest on my first front gear.
Okay.
I really like hitting those small granny gears.
Yeah, so you were kind of cut lower.
Yeah.
I'm actually shifting up right now. This little incline here, like I only need like my fourth gear.
Yeah.
For that.
How was that though, going up the hill on the Max?
Oh, it's fine.
Intuitive? Nice.
Oh yeah, and like all the Catrikes, you've got this nice seat to push back against.
Lots of support.
You know, one thing that I really do like about the Max here is it's a Catrike, and it's just great quality. It's very intuitive. The shifting, the pedaling, every part about it.
I love the comfort. You know, one of the Villager's best traits is its comfort and wide seating.
I'm gonna give it all I got. I'm really worried that I'm just gonna run out of gears.
You know?
Let's give it a go. Cue the music.
All right, Davy.
So I'm already in my highest gear and I'm just pedaling there. Ah! Faster!
I can just keep that.
I start the hill in my top gear. All right. Well,
I definitely had much higher gear range than you did.
Oh man, if you could turn air into butter, I could open up a farm shack because
going downhill on that.
I'm just pedaling air. I started the hill in my top gear. By the time we got through that first bend, I was done.
Dang.
Like there was no more gears.
And I was able to pedal down that whole way. I don't even think I hit my top speed there.
As far as handling down hills, Catrikes are always one of my favorite trikes for high-speed descent.
Oh yeah, like I just let go of my handlebars there at the end, probably going as fast as I was going, and it's just super straight.
Yeah.
Super sturdy. Like there's no issues on the steering there. It's super stable, and I feel so grounded even on such a high-seated trike. On a lot of the other trikes that we were riding, it was just really. I was just a little scared to hit those turns as hard as I could, but on these Catrikes, I can just hit that corner, and I know that if I'm leaning into it, there's not going to be any issue.
I would go so far as to say that Catrike probably makes the safest, most predictable riding trike.
Yeah.
You know, I think going down a hill on a Catrike, it's very intuitive, very safe, very predictable, the handling.
They make them really grounded.
Yeah.
It's awesome to see.
I wanted to really be able to compare the high speed handling and steering as much.
Yeah, because it's a bit wider. And
Yeah.
there's a little bit of like a concern on if that makes a big of a difference.
I would anticipate that it would make a difference. Yeah, so I was really hoping that I'd be able to like really push this going down that hill so I could, you know, have a guide when I switched to the Villager here.
Yeah.
Frankly, I just couldn't go fast enough. For as fast as I could go, this thing rides on rails. It's like that train there. It's just lock solid. It's going straight. And I have no fear. I feel like I could probably use twice as much gearing on this.
Yeah.
For the hills, specifically going down the hills. Probably 90% of the Maxes that we build and we ship out have motors on them.
Yeah, they've got a motor.
We've certainly ridden the Max, you know, going 20, 30 miles an hour. We know it handles great, you know, certainly can handle the speed.
So how's the gearing just on like standard straightaways though? Do you think that?
This gear range here, I think is going to be adequate for nearly every rider. It's really just going to be the guy that wants to go faster down the hills.
Yeah.
Because you saw like climbing up the hill, I was only in like gear 2
Yeah.
at the very top.
You were still hitting it.
And when I hit, you know, when you asked me what gear I was in, I shifted into 1 real quick and it was too low.
Yeah.
Now, if you were doing really big climbs, or maybe you're towing a trailer, or maybe you're a bigger guy, you got some extra weight that you're pushing, maybe having some extra gearing might be a way, you know, might be something that you want to consider.
Yeah. Like the gearing on this Villager was really surprising to me, honestly. I've never pushed the Villager that fast before. And the fact that I could get going that fast and keep going faster if I wanted to was really surprising.
Yeah.
Most people see these upright, wider, just more comfort trikes, and they don't think that they can hit those speeds that they're wanting to hit. So they go for something like the 559 or the Expedition. But this still has that high gear range, and if you're really pushing it, you can still get it there.
The 559, for example, that 26-inch wheel in the back
Uh-huh.
really does make a difference.
Oh, definitely.
You know, you want to get that higher gearing, you want that bigger wheel in the back.
Yeah.
You know,
you can hit a lot of high speeds more consistently on those more racing trikes.
Right.
But if you're trying to get this trike to those speeds, you can get it there.
Yeah, you just gotta, you know, you gotta pedal faster.
Yeah.
And you know, having a bigger wheel on some of the other models will help you get those higher gears, but then that's also at the expense of the lower gears.
Yeah.
We can put a bigger wheel on the back of the Villager, and what that will do is it'll give you a higher top end, but then it'll actually get rid of some of your lower end.
Yeah.
Which may not matter from where you're at.
There's just high versatility on these trikes, more than what people would assume.
Yeah.
Which is really nice.
So before we switch and we keep going, let's just highlight, you know, some of the key differences between these trikes. I know that people are, you know, wondering. So the Villager and the Max are very, very similar.
Very
similar. It's very clear that the Max was extrapolated from the Villager.
It really is the same frame, just kind of expanded.
Yeah, so what they did, they took the frame, they made it about 3 inches wider. And so, you know, we're about 1.5 inches wider on each side. And the seat itself is 2 inches wider. And that's one thing you're going to notice when you sit on this. This is like a comfy Cadillac bench seat.
Yeah.
It just feels really wide. This wider seat, while it's very comfortable, it doesn't have that same wraparound cockpit feel that a lot of the other Catrikes that we've been riding lately do.
Yeah.
The steering is a little bit wider. And if you're a wider guy, this trike's gonna just feel right for you. And then of course, we've got some extras on the Max. We've got these easy exit aids here, which are just fantastic for, you know, getting up and getting down.
Because those come on stock. That's the first.
Yeah, and so every other trike, Catrike, you've got to buy these to add them on.
And Catrike designed their own. Like we've had our own, but they designed these specifically for the Max. They came out with the Max, correct?
Yeah. So we started making our easy entry aids years ago. And then a few years after that, TerraCycle, they made a version as well. And then, you know, recently when Catrike introduced the Max, they came up with their own version too. You know, and the nice thing about their version is it has some index marks here on the side, so you can make sure that they're the same height. And, you know, and because they're made specifically for the Catrike, they have all the right angles to put them where you want them and everything.
Yeah.
And then they serve as putting your mirror up higher, which is really nice.
They're very fine-tuned to the Catrike build, which has been really nice to put them on these Catrikes.
Well, then one other difference here is the Max comes stock with the Big Apple 2.0 tire.
That's one of my favorite tires. I love the comfort that they provide.
Kind of a fatter, lower PSI comfort tire.
They provide a little bit more of that in-tire suspension.
Right.
Like whenever I was doing sales, I would always suggest people who couldn't afford their suspended trikes to upgrade to some bigger tires like the Big Apples, because they just give you a little bit more of that shock absorption.
Especially road vibrations. And I think that combined with the seat pad on this, it's a very comfortable ride. You know, where the Villager, it comes stock with the racers, the Schwalbe Marathon Racers, which are stock on pretty much every other model besides the 700, of course. They're a good proven tire, good puncture resistant, good fast all-around tire. Let's swap.
Compare the two.
Let's do it. I'm already missing those exit aids here. Now I gotta
There we go.
plop down a little
Keep it
bit.
easy.
You'd think it wouldn't be so noticeable, but it's like you immediately feel like how much narrower
Yeah,
this
it
is.
is very wide.
It just feels,
The whole geometry of
Yeah.
where my arms are at is entirely different.
yeah, and like my arms now, they just kind of go straight in front of me.
Mine are
Where
out
they were
like
out
this.
a little bit
Yeah.
before. Just sitting on it. We're not riding yet, but just sitting on it. This configuration here feels a little more sporty.
Yeah,
Once again, I'm in the Catrike cockpit.
I feel like I'm wearing a big shirt.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited to have a little bit more gearing going down that hill.
I'm
So-
excited to see how much little gearing I have compared.
Yeah. You know, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna wait up for you.
Okay, and that's okay.
I'm going.
I didn't wait for you. I don't expect
I'm
you to wait
going
for
down
me.
that hill. So let's start with going up the hill.
Okay.
Let's go. You left me here in the middle ring here. That middle ring already feels a lot lower than what I had on the Max there.
I will say, this Max's gearing just feels like butter. It feels really smooth.
Yeah.
Not that the Villagers was like clunky or anything. No 3-chain up front. It just leaves it really smooth and really consistent.
Well,
No
you
matter
know,
what
there's
gear
a
I'm
lot
in.
of people that battle with front derailleurs.
Yeah,
Front derailleurs, they require, you know, a little more effort to be able to get them to shift in the right gear, especially when you're going up to the bigger gears. And so a lot of people prefer the simplicity of just having one gear.
definitely keeps it less complex.
Yeah.
And I will say already, I'm in my lowest gear, and
Yeah.
I think it's pretty comparable to the smallest front gear and the second to third.
See, I'm only in my
smallest gear.
middle front gear.
Really? We
Yeah.
just tackle hills completely differently.
Yeah.
I think that this is pretty comparable to what I was hitting with the Villager.
Right.
beforehand.
I say, as soon as we get that crest there,
Then you just got to start going
you
up.
just gotta get into higher gearing. Lately, on some of these other videos we've been doing, I've been riding the Delta Trikes.
Yeah.
And I know we did a couple rides with Deltas. One thing I commented on the Max was how I liked just that extra bit of seat height on the street here. And that was immediately noticeable. Like, I'm definitely lower than you right now.
Yeah. Let's see how this does on like flat ground. On a little bit of a small hilly area.
I've ridden a lot of Villagers over the years, and it's just a fantastic trike.
So yeah, definitely a lot wider.
Pretty much anybody that comes in and says, hey, I want a good trike, I'm looking in that $3,000 to $4,000 price range, I'm gonna recommend the Villager. It's just fantastic, and it works for pretty much everybody. You can't go wrong.
It's still really comfortable. I love how the seat wraps around me. You know? Feels like the Max's seat is like a big reclining chair.
Let's take the stock Villager down the hill and see how it goes. I just want to... All right, guys.
Come on.
Okay, it's just time to give it all I got. Let's go.
That's definitely as fast as I can go. Look at that. How does it feel with that wider gearing?
I definitely got some faster speed that
Yeah.
time, and I was definitely able to push it harder. Still not high enough though.
Yeah.
You know, we're really at like the limit of what you can get with a 20-inch rear wheel without adding a lot of exotic gearing.
Yeah. I think you're just a speed demon. Like this thing,
I'm definitely a speed demon.
what I topped out at was just perfect for me.
Say,
It wasn't even that bad. Whereas I still feel like I'm going fast. I wouldn't really want to go any faster. I will say, like the wider, like heavier steering of this Max, it really gives it some more stability. So you could go a lot higher with a lot more, like a lot higher speeds,
right.
and keep it sturdy. But for me, I just like a nice even pace.
I've got that need for speed,
Yeah.
and I like to have a lot of gearing. I like to be able to go fast. I think mainly because I feel like by the time I've climbed the hill, I earned it.
You want a big reward.
I'm like, hey, I climbed this hill. I should be able to go as fast as I want going down the hill. And when the trike's like, no, you can't go faster.
Yeah.
You know, it's a weird thing riding these two trikes because they are so similar.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, a lot of these trikes that we're riding every day and we're going, this trike versus this trike.
They're so different.
They're totally different. And you ride it and you go, you know, well, this is pretty obvious this way. And, you know, and they both all have their own really big differences. Like these trikes are so similar. I mean, I think the obvious thing, first of all, is going to be if you are a bigger rider,
go for the max.
and you need, yeah, if you need a 400-pound weight limit, then go for the max.
Yeah.
You know, because the max is going to feel more comfortable for you.
Well, like if you're a smaller, lighter rider like me, this just feels too big. The max is super comfortable. This wider seat just feels like I'm sinking into an over padded recliner, not in a bad way, but if someone is a smaller rider, like my arms feel like they're too far out. It feels like I'm wearing a shoe that's just a little bit too big. The Villager really fit me and it really holds on to me and everything is just in the right spot.
So I feel like, you know, for me, I'm probably more in that either one of these could be the one that's just right.
Yeah.
I could definitely see liking that comfier, bigger ride, but then the Villager is just this proven sporty trike that has all these gears and is equally as comfortable as far as I can tell.
Yeah. But here on this Max, one of the things that I love the most is this gearing. It's just buttery smooth.
Yeah.
Like, stuff with that front derailleur just feels really clicky. It feels clanky, not like it's dysfunctional.
Yeah, like I'll shift right now. I mean, it's just like any, you know, any kind of, you know, front gearing, you've got kind of big jumps.
And but like even without shifting, it just kind of impacts
the
way that it overall feels as you pedal.
Yeah, like my chain sits up a little bit higher. I could feel it kind of touch the inside of my leg a little bit when I'm pedaling.
Yeah, this feels smooth.
Yeah.
It feels intuitive. I have enough gears to jump through in the back where I'm not really noticing a big difference without it. Honestly, if I was to go with a Villager, I might put this gearing on a Villager. I think that
gearing does come stock on the Villager E-Cats and is also an option for the regular Villager anyway.
Nice.
So I didn't feel it so much because I'm just so used to it, but it does come up a lot with customers when they're test riding these two trikes. The steering on the Max is definitely heavier.
Yeah.
Yeah, heavier. So like, you know, going on the straights and the big turns like we're doing, I don't think you notice it. But like when you're really maneuvering it around the parking lot, you can really feel that heavier steering.
Yeah, I did notice that, especially on the downhill, but mainly just in the way that it made it really sturdy.
Yeah.
Like it felt really stable. When my hands were off, that I wasn't going anywhere I didn't want to go. But I could see how that could be a little more difficult for somebody who's at slower speeds, just trying to maneuver, because I think that would be a little bit more difficult compared to something like the Villager.
Yeah, and we've had that before where like a smaller woman was in just a couple weeks ago and she came in thinking, hey, I want to buy the Catrike Max, mostly because it's the newest thing. And then she rode it and she said, why is the steering feel so hard?
Yeah.
And then we put her on a Villager and she said, well, this is a lot easier to steer. Catrike uses the same steering components on the Villager and the Max. So it's got the same spindles, essentially the same handlebar setup. But what's different is by making that wider, they've actually affected that steering geometry a little bit because they're using the same connection on the spindle for the tie rods.
And like for me, I just don't have as much leverage as I would on the Villager because it's wider. So I
Right.
can't put as much of my body behind it.
It's going to be a hard decision for a lot of people.
Yeah, for me, it's a pretty easy decision. I'm skinny, and a Villager just fits my body more. But for somebody
Sure.
like you, in that Goldilocks zone of like an in-between, it could definitely be really hard to choose.
Yeah.
Because they're just both great and very similar. They just got very small differences.
Whether you choose the Villager or the Max, you're going to get a great trike. Which one to choose? I think number one is going to come down to the size of the rider.
Uh-huh.
Like we're both 6'2". I'm about 250 pounds.
I'm like 160.
If you're less than 200 pounds, you probably should choose the Villager.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in that 200 to 300 pound range, I think either one of these trikes is going to fit you well. The fact that the Villager comes with more gearing and has the regular quick release dropout, so I could add more gearing, I could do a little more. I personally would probably lean more towards the Villager.
Yeah.
I think you would lean towards the Villager just because, like you said, it fits you better.
Yeah.
If I wasn't doing a lot of hills and I really just wanted that big comfort trike, is really hard to beat the Max. I think that wider seat and the Big Apple tires on there and just having the seat bars that come with it, super comfy.
Yeah.
Easy to get in and out of, really fun to ride. And obviously if you're a bigger rider, the Max is going to be the better choice. But, you know, you can always add things and subtract things. So that's what makes the decision even a little harder. You know, you could add more gearing to the Max. You can add the seat bars and the Big Apples to the Villager. You know, which one do you want? I think
it really just comes down to what you like about the frame and kind of your body type. Because all the things I like about the Max can just be put on the Villager.
Yeah.
The Villager's best for me because of my size and what I like in a trike.
Right.
So just that smaller size, which is still really comfortable, put on with the simplified gearing would be my perfect trike.
Yeah.
It's on the Villager.
Yeah, and you could add the 30-speed gearing to the Max, and you could add, you know, faster tires.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can add a motor to either one of them, which then takes away all the speed concerns because now you could go as fast as you want.
Because all you need to think about when deciding between these trikes is size and that steering, right? If it's too heavy for you, then you might want something lighter like the Villager. And I think those are really the biggest thing.
Yeah, that's really going to be the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that we didn't make you have more questions about the Villager and the Max. You know, if you do have any questions about them, let us know. We encourage you to come and take your own test ride.
That's the easiest way to decide between the two trikes, really.
Yeah, you know, and that's it. Like, I think that if you come in and you sit on one trike and ride it, and then you sit on the other trike and ride it, you're going to go, okay, I like this one better.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, you can't make a wrong decision with a Catrike, especially when you get it from Utah Trikes. As always, guys,
relax, spin fast, and ride trikes.
Ride trikes, guys. Hey, we'll see ya. Damn, I'm bumpy. You gotta give me a little room.
Is the Max on the right side? Because you see, both these trikes do not have suspension.
Yeah.
They don't get me at all.
Yeah, they both got very similar seat pads.